Greetings, dear, beautiful, precious spirit soul that you are. You know what? Just do a little exercise there. Move your shoulders just a little bit. Do a little nice breathing. The solution, really, to every problem, you know, every tragedy. I mean, the solution to all troubles. And you don't find solutions by dealing with the same concepts and beliefs that create the problem. And if you have the problem of the consciousness that I'm not good enough, then no matter what you do, you'll always still feel that you're not good enough. And what does that mean? Well, I'm not as good as other people, or they don't think highly of me, or they don't respect me, or whatever it may be. This is the mind. And the real solution to all problems is to look to the cause of the problem first. And what do you call a problem? And we might say a problem is that which is interfering with what it is that you want to be attaining. Well, oftentimes what we think is a problem, it's in a sense, it's good for us because some of the things that we think that we're thinking that we want aren't coming from our heart, aren't coming from who we are, but it's coming from what we believe, what we've been taught, what we perceive the media people doing, and celebrities and heroes, and all of this, and trying to pattern ourselves after someone. It's just like being a teenager. They're trying to get their act together so they could take it on the road, you see. And when that act then is, how do I manage out there? What do I do? You know, how do I survive? How do I get along? And what happens is the concepts that they've been learning and been being taught knowledge rather than innate knowledge, because you're in contact with all knowing, because we're part of all knowing. And that who is and is all powerful, all knowing, everywhere present. So the solution then to all of these troubles is to first look to the cause of them, and you're going to find it's going to be a thought, it's going to be an idea. So like, say it's in relationship, you have troubles, all that. Okay, what is it? What are you in the relationship for? And what happens when you go into a relationship to get something because they make you happy, after a while, if you're not really working on yourself and knowing who you are, you're going to blame them for making you miserable. And they're not making you happy or miserable because you're agreeing to be there and you're participating and you're choosing that. And interesting thing too, often, probably more than often, but at the end of a relationship or a situation, how you end it, what's the last thought or concept, is why you entered it, because of that ending, because you're trying to prove that. And what happens is when people don't know who they aren't centered within themselves, they're always, and we haven't been, because we have been taught that you're not good enough, you don't know enough, you're competing with everybody else, survival of the fittest, all of these lies. And yes, in that reality is the idea of to conquer others, to take dominion over, to control, to dominate. And so then in relationship, you've got the dominator and the dominated, but then even the dominated is dominating the dominator, or they wouldn't even be in the relationship, you see, because they're trying to prove out something. Like say a really good woman, she got to get a really bad man or whatever, so she could prove how good and how bad. And then, see, it's a game. And you don't want to have your relationships to be a game, because they have winners and losers. And what are most people trying to do? I'm right and you're wrong. And then they argue about, I'm right and you're wrong. You say, no, you didn't, blah, blah, blah. And they're bickering and bickering. It's like, what are you doing? And then also, it's almost that sense of, well, we have to stay together no matter what, because we can't afford anything else. And yet having no desire to actually maybe first become friends. find out how can we mutually empower each other. So anyway, the solution to all troubles and problems is to notice the source of the trouble or the problem. Now stop doing that causes the problem. And that means to look, are you honoring the mind? If the mind starts building a case against your mate or a case against somebody else, or starts thinking of getting even, or starts that I notice about my actions sometimes, I'll start to I caught myself the other day. I had built a case about what was true about someone and everything that in their relationship with me wasn't true at all. No. And I went, really? I was so quick to make that out and then to overcome it. It's almost like we look at all these scenarios that could happen to us. So I'll suffer now in case it happens in the future. So at least I'm ready for it because I'm already suffering now. No, it's all suffering is a business plan in this reality, because money is made from war, struggle, fighting, disagreements, lawyers, rules, laws. It's generating this. It's calling it nature, really. Saying nature is violent. Maybe not. The violence, and that violence is self-abuse. So then that solution is then to actually really have the courage to really be yourself, the sweet soul that you are. And I tell you, like the gorilla granny, I mentioned in one of my videos, that's, you could join it, but there's really no members. You don't have any dues or meetings. You do your thing. And I was at the market, and someone you could see had purposely broken glass so the cars would run over it. And some poor soul, maybe we could run that over, what it would cost, what you have to do, the troubles. And I have a little whisk broom in the car, so it's like part of my gorilla granny work. I'll just brush that over. It's my little, this is what you do. And then you look to see where you make a difference, where you bring truth into every situation, not by preaching. It could be just a little thought bomb, that it's a love bomb in the sense, not a bomb of destroying, but of a bursting of an awareness. Because when people do hear the thought or the idea does get planted. Like, I don't just go along to get along. If I hear a bunch of people talking about something and I'm standing there, I don't go over there. I say, well, yeah, that's cool. This is how I take it. And this is what I do. Da, 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 bum, ba, ba. And then I go do my thing. But it's like when you realize the cause of the troubles, and they begin in the mind, and then you take a look at what are you trying to prove, and what are you going through to prove you've been hurt, to prove that you lost, be full of resentment for something years ago, even one moment before it happened. Own it and empower yourself. Get that was God showing up to reflect back to you something in your consciousness that you've been agreeing with, and be happy it came forth, so you can now let go of that belief, that command, that hypnotic trance that was accepting that form of pain, suffering, lack, limitation, worry, competition, hatred, all of this. This is the movie, because it's a drama. It's an event. It's not an event. It's like, do you want to live a movie in a movie? Or in the true adventure of the soul, in harmony with all souls, in harmony with super soul. Let's do that now, because you're free. It's happened. And if you keep going back, you keep bringing back what's gone, and then you're going to have it in the moment again. and keep reliving it. You have to have the courage now to be now, not bringing back the memories, the fears that stop. It's over. And it's how you are in this moment. And that's all there is. One continuous moment of you. Yeah. Eternally. For you are eternity. And you are divine and part of, you see. Good. There are no problems or troubles in the divine. All is well. Claim it. It's yours.